I could never figure out how to track retention. Everyone talks about retention, but it's vague, it's hard to measure, and honestly, it's not very actionable. So instead of trying to track retention, I flipped it. I started tracking drop rate instead. Drop rate is simple. How many students did I start the month with? Then how many did I lose that month? Then, however many I lost, I simply divided that number by how many I started with. So if I started with 100 and lost 5, I would have a 5% drop rate. You either lost a student this month or you didn't. I found that for most schools, a 5% monthly drop rate is a really solid benchmark to shoot for. 100 students lose about 5. 200 students lose about 10. And here's why that matters. If you can keep your drops around 5%, then replacing those students and actually growing is manageable. But then I realized something even bigger. Your drop rate doesn't just tell you how you're doing, it actually tells you how big your school can get. Your total student growth potential equals your monthly enrollments divided by your drop rate. This simple formula will very accurately tell you how big your school can get if nothing changes. Here's what this means. If you know how many students you enroll each month and you assume a 5% drop rate, you can calculate your growth ceiling. In other words, what is your total growth potential if nothing changed? So let's say you enroll 10 students per month and you're dropping on average 5% per month. That means eventually you'll have about 10 students dropping each month because of the 5% drop rate. And when that happens, you'll be getting 10 in and you'll be getting 10 out. So you'll stop growing. If your ceiling is 10 divided by 5%, that's 200 students. That's your total growth potential if nothing changed. So regardless of how many rooms you have or anything else. But here's where this gets really powerful. If you only enroll 8 students per month, 8 divided by 5% equals 160 students. And that's your cap unless something changes. So if you feel stuck, it's not random. Your business is already perfectly calibrated to land at a certain number of students. If you want to grow beyond that number, you only have 2 options. Enroll more students each month or reduce your drop rate below wherever it is. And that's it. There are no other levers. So if you have 100 students and you're enrolling 10 students per month and your drop rate is 5%, you don't have a 100-student school. You have a system designed to become a 200-student school. You just haven't waited long enough yet. But let's say you're enrolling 10 students per month, but your drop rate is 7%. You think you should hit 200, but you stall out around 140. And it feels confusing because you're working hard, but the math is working against you. Or what if your drop rate is 8%? Same effort, same enrollments. But now your ceiling is 125 students. You're doing the work of a 200-student school, but you're only getting the results of a 125-student system. Or worse, what if your drop rate were 10%? You're enrolling 10 students every single month and you never grow beyond 100 students because you're losing 10 every month and you're gaining 10. You've built a system that cannot grow. If all you did was work on improving your drop rate from 10% to 5%, you would open up your growth potential to 200 students. You didn't change your marketing. You didn't get more leads. You just simply fixed your retention and you doubled your school size. Most people try to grow by adding more students. But if your drop rate is too high, you're pouring water into a bucket with holes. So fix the holes, and the same effort will produce completely different results.